All right, in this video, we're going to learn how to make what we call a working drawing of our puzzle cube, and this will be the last part of this project. So as you can see here on this title block, I've kind of created a very kind of summative look at the entire cube. I've got my exploded view, I've got the view of the cube put together, and I have what's called a parts list or a bill of materials here. Now, you're going to be building this out on a B-size title block. So this is for a 11 by 17 piece of paper. If you need to find that, I'll show you a place you can always find these. Well, I do have them posted on Schoology, but if you go to the File Open menu and you click on this drop down, this is the K drive, right? You're familiar with that. But there's also something called the O drive, which is an open networked drive. There's a folder for every teacher in the school. Most of them don't use it, but if you have desktops in your room, I use it. So you can go to the T folder for Thornton, click on Thornton, and click on title blocks, and you'll find both the A and the B size. So go ahead and open up the B size title block. Make a fresh copy by using File, Save As, and put that title block into your K drive and into the correct folder. Mine is in a different name, but yours will be in your CAD one. And we're going to call this Puzzle Cube Working Drawing. A working drawing is sort of like the final design that you would use to build the physical prototype. So we're going to go ahead and click Save there. And I'm getting this pop-up that says it already exists because I already have created one. So sure, I'll go ahead and replace it. We'll rebuild it. All right, so let's start by editing the text on our title block. Our scale, I think we should be able to do 1-to-1 scale. Our class period is going to be 8, first and last name. Enter that in there. And for our title, we're going to say Puzzle Cube dash Working Drawing. There we go. Now, to get started, we're going to place our assembled cube. So you'll see when I go to place my base, it'll give me a couple different options. So I have an assembly file here for my cube. I also have the presentation file. You should have already done the exploded view presentation if you're on this part of the video. So I'm going to start by selecting the assembly of my cube. I'm going to go up to 1-to-1 scale. And I am going to, my cube is a little bit off. I need to, let's see. Oh, let me try that again. 1-to-1 scale. I'm going to go ahead and place that just like that and click OK. Double click it. I'll make sure I turn shading on. Okay, so there's my cube. Now I'm going to place a new base of my presentation file. Now, if you correctly created a snapshot of your presentation, you should see it here as listed out as view number 1. And you want to include an exploded view with it completely pulled apart. Now this is a little big. I actually wish I had kept this perhaps a little more condensed. You could drop that down to 1/2-inch scale. Although generally speaking, you want to keep everything on the same title block, the same size. So I'll try to see if I can fit this in here. That's pretty good. I could have these pieces a lot closer, right, if I had done my presentation file a little bit better. Now you want to think about whether your cube is in the same orientation in both directions. So like for instance, this orange piece here is the same angle and view as it is in the assembled cube. So that's good. Same with the purple. So that's what I want. And I'm going to turn shading on. So I end up with something like this. Okay. You can see my other one, these are a little bit smaller. That's fine. Like if you wanted to, just to make this a little bit easier to see, you could put that as 1/2 scale, but I'm going to keep it full size. Okay, now the last thing we're going to add in is a materials list. So we're going to go into the annotate menu and we're going to add what's called a parts list, and we're going to select the assembly of our cube. This is going to create a list of all the components. Now for the puzzle cubes, they're pretty simple, and it's getting the part numbers from the file names of the different wooden parts. So if you named your files correctly, it will look like this. If I go to that assembly, which is right here, and I click this Bill of Materials button, I can change the description. So for instance, I might put in as the description for each piece the word wood, meaning it's going to be made out of wood. And I'll click done, and I'll save that file. And I'll go back to my working drawing, and you can see that the description field gets populated with the word wood right there. So that's telling whoever is building this prototype what material to use for this. These parts lists, you can shrink them down to make them a little bit smaller. Doesn't need to be quite that big. You should be able to move them around too if you just put it down here in the bottom right somewhere. Okay, so this is pretty much done. The last thing I want to do is these item numbers right here. I want to number these pieces the correct number. So for instance, item number 1 is my purple piece. So I'm going to do what's called a balloon right here. And I'm going to select the piece when it lights up red. And I'm going to draw in a leader line. Make sure the horizontal part is flat. Don't do it like that. It looks bad. Click. Now, before I do anything, I'm going to right click and hit continue. And that's going to add a nice little number 1 label. Piece number 2 is the green piece. So I'll try to do from the outside edge so it looks nice. Put that one right there. Right click, continue. Piece number 3 is the blue piece. Where should we put that one? Let's put that one down here. Piece number 4 is pink. And the last piece is piece number 5, which is the green, or sorry, the orange. So now I can, see, for instance, oh, here's item number 5. It's talking about the orange piece. It's wood. Okay. If you want to be extra special, you could go back to your bill of materials and include the number of cubes in each piece. So I could say like wood. That's for instance, 6 cubes. That's 6 cubes. I have a lot of 6 cubes. 6 cubes. This one I think is 5 cubes. And 5 cubes. Actually, I think the pink piece is only 4. That could tell you even more information here. So now it's kind of telling me the size of each one. Okay. So you're going to go ahead and save that file when you're done. And it's going to say, oh, you've got all these dependents. Just yes to all. Let's save all of them. Okay. Or just click OK. All right. Now you're going to turn this in to Schoology. There's a spot where you can take a screenshot. You also, if you want a keepsake, can print it. So if I go to print, this is a B-size title block, so I can print my model at 1:1 scale. Make sure, if you click on properties, that you're printing to size 11 by 17 and select OK. If you want to preview it, you can make sure it's going to print to the right size. Click the print button and you'll print out a nice copy. You could take that home just to remember your puzzle cube by. So once you get that done, you are pretty much done with the CAD part of this project, and then you can just make your cube so you have a physical prototype. Well done.